99% of all golfers struggle for one really simple reason. They try to apply leverage to the golf club. Today's video is going to be an understanding of what leverage is and why you don't want to apply it to the golf club. Even though you hear the term leverage a lot in golf instruction, leverage to the golf club is a bad thing. What we're going to really learn is what we're going to call extending the radius of the swing, or what we would quote unquote call swinging, but I'll define that a little bit more accurately as well, because a swing is not just a simple swing like a playground swing. It's actually a series of interconnected swings that work on one simple principle that actually make one whole swing. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's get started. All right, so what is leverage and why is it such a bad thing in a golf swing? Well, let's start with what leverage is. Leverage is very simple. It's taking a rigid object like our golf club. If I push down on one side, I can maneuver the weight in the other way. So the act of leverage essentially in the golf swing is using the rigid property of the golf club and the shaft to maneuver the weight of the golf club. Now, it's a problem because, again, as I showed you here, if I push on one side, the other side goes in the opposite direction. So if you could imagine, if I'm trying to maneuver the club through leverage, the golf club's trying to go one way, so I'm speeding it up this way, but the other side's trying to go the other way. It's working in opposition, okay? So that's going to create a lot of fight in our golf swing, okay? What we want to have in a golf swing ultimately is we want everything extending from the center line of our body in a uniform swing, which I'll explain in a second. So the issue, most players struggle with leverage because they've been kind of taught, hey, move my body, then hit the golf ball. And it's just kind of our natural instinct when we pick up a golf club is, again, we can feel the rigidity and the heaviest weight. It's the easiest thing to feel. The easiest thing to do is to pick it up and move it with our hands and our forearms. But a skilled golfer learns to bypass that urge and learns how to turn it into what we're going to call a swing, okay? So again, the problem with leverage is when you're coming down in your swing, if you're applying leverage, if you apply it early, you're going to get a cast in and over the top. You're going to lose a lot of energy. You're going to have a lot of problems coming through. That's going to be a pretty high handicap move. But a lot of really pretty skilled players actually even put leverage coming down into the golf club, even late, to try to speed it up. But either way, again, it creates a new axis of rotation around the center mass of the golf club, which automatically stalls the natural energy of the swing. So that is the big problem with leverage. Now, if we don't want to lever the golf club, which we hear the term leverage all the time in golf instruction, but you really don't want to use leverage on the golf club. So what do we want to do? What we want to do is we want to do what we call a swing. Now, a simple swing is just I can swing my golf club just like this, hold it at the end, and just let it swing around the hinge that I've kind of created from my fingers, and it creates a very natural accelerating movement when it gets to the bottom, and it's going at its fastest, and it's rotating around a center point. Now, golf swing is not that simple, though. It is a series or a system of swings that is one swing, but it has multiple unfolding parts. I think that's a better way to look at it. So the masses, the fixed length masses of our arms and our hands and the golf club together create one swing that appears to have a sequence of swings into it. And that's where we can get very, very confused, and it can make us feel like we need to put leverage on the golf club. So what we really want to learn how to do is we want to learn how, instead of leveraging the golf club, we want to use the turn of our body to start a rotation. Once I have a rotation, now I have the ability for angular momentum to do its job. So if I start to rotate, my rotation slows down, the masses of my arms and the golf club will want to pull away from my body in a very, very uniform fashion. And what I want to do is I want to really condition my body how to learn how to feel and capture that in my golf swing. The farther the golf club gets from the center line of your body as it's working away, and you got to think of this as three-dimensional. I'm right now, you can see the distance from my center line to the club is increased. Here on the face-on, here I come down, again, you can see how the distance with the golf club from the center line of my body is increased, but that's happening on a plane, so you got to think about it a little more three-dimensionally. But that is what I want to do with the golf swing. So anytime you try to put leverage on the golf club, you destroy that system. And so you want to really get good at conditioning your body, at learning how to rotate and then allow the masses of your body, of your arms and the golf club, to not extend in a sequence, but to extend simultaneously. You basically got to get it started and you got to learn how to let it go. And then the rest of your body's job is to predict what's going to happen as well as support what's going to happen. That's why you can't learn how to swing a golf club by thinking about body parts, because it happens too quickly, and the learning system that we were born with actually is responsive to intent. It's not something that you learn, that you can tell your body how to fire a bunch of different muscles and expect it to come together. So that is a very futile way to actually approach learning anything. Okay? And you probably didn't learn how to ride a bike, walk, run, surf, skateboard, whatever it might be. You didn't learn how to do that. So again, we want to learn how to extend the radius of the golf club, or the radius of the swing, which is our arms and our golf club, and everything as a unit, if you will, or simultaneously, till we get the extended point to be just past the impact, and that's what gives us that really clean impact position and gives us a lot of free speed in the golf swing. You need to learn how to do that first before you even worry about how to hit it far. But the good news is, if you learn how to do that, you get pretty darn good distance quickly. And as your nervous system gets more comfortable with it, you can then learn how to change directions more quickly, use gravity and the forces around us to get a more energy in the golf swing. Now, the golf club is a terrible way to learn how to do that. You can definitely swing it that way, but it takes a lot of conditioning to bypass the want to put leverage on the golf club. The Pro is the easiest way to learn how to do that, albeit the Pro is a difficult skill, but its difficulty is exactly what you want. Because the Pro has a rigid combined with a massless component to it, it is responsive. It's a pain in the butt. It only works correctly if your movements are in sync with the extending of momentum, or the extending of the radius of the swing. So our Pro, we fold it in much more than we fold a golf swing, because we have a rope, and then as we bring it back around, we learn to let it extend. And if I'm really skilled with this, I know that everything is extending proportionally the way it's supposed to, relative to the spin of my body. If the Pro, the grip, the rope, and the cylinder stay in a straight line. If I see an angle form, that's a dead giveaway that I'm doing something that is contrary to allowing it to extend proportionally, or more than likely for most players, again, I'll say about 99%, you're applying leverage to the golf club, and you need to learn how to stop doing that. So as I get more and more skilled with my Pro, I learn how to use my body to get it into motion and teach the joints of my shoulders and my elbows and wrists to be passive, and allow the sense and understanding of how the momentum of the golf swing transfers and flows away from us. And I do that by knowing that I have a straight line in the Pro. And the more it extends and I have a straight line, the more my body learns how to move with it. So I have to be very, very in tune with what the golf swing and what the physics actually wants, and then that's how I learn how to swing my golf club. So after swinging my Pro a few times, I can get back to my golf club, and it's the same thing. And again, note, everybody complains about the Pro, it folds in, but it's way easier to learn how to extend momentum correctly, or get the transfer of momentum correct, such that you're extending the radius of the swing correctly with something that's pliable, because it responds only to that force. Okay, this thing, you can't really tell if it's doing the right thing, but it will feel different when you actually do it right. So when I go back to my golf club, I want to have the same attitude. I want to create a rotation, and I want to feel like I'm allowing the golf club to extend away from me. So the folding of the golf swing comes in here. I've got a hinge in my wrists. I can still have a lead arm that's pretty straight. As I make my rotation and it slows down, I'm letting the energy of the golf swing go. If I let it extend away from me, this happens. If I try to speed the club head up, this happens. And we know that we'd much rather hit a golf ball like that than like that, for sure. All right, so in conclusion, we definitely want to learn how to get rid of that tendency to create leverage in our golf swing on the golf shaft, and we want to learn how to extend the radius of the golf swing, just like we would do if we've mastered the skill of our Pro. So make sure you guys get your Pro out, start working on that regular. Don't forget that you can always post videos for me to take a look at on Coach Now. I'm always happy to do that. And for you YouTube people out there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'll see you all next time. All right, going to go through some good and bad demonstrations. Here is a good swing with the Pro. Notice how the grip, rope, and cylinder stay in alignment for the entire swing. This is how I know that I am extending the radius of the swing correctly and proportionally, and everything is working well with physics. Here's a bad one now. Notice that at the grip and the rope joint right through here, there's a sharp angle. That's where I'm applying leverage to it, and the pro doesn't respond the same way. Same thing with the golf club. Here's a bad swing with the club. I'm going to put leverage on the shaft. See how it casts away and creates a flipped impact? And now we're going to go into a good swing here. And transition, I'm going to allow the radius to extend just like with the pro. Completely changes the impact position and the symmetry of the golf swing. Here it is one more time. See another good swing. In transition, using the body to start rotation and then allowing the arms and the club to unfold properly, and that is exactly how you create a lot of momentum transfer in your golf swing and make an easy and effortless swing.